What as I told you, the United States Army holds a real searchable patent for food you spray directly onto your tongue. No chewing, no swallowing, no plate. Your first instinct is probably to say that is absolutely not a real thing. And I get it. It sounds like something a 12-year-old made up. But I had to fact-check this twice. And then I fact-checked it a third time, because the answer is yes. It is completely real. The patent number is US 6,600,086B2. You can type that into Google Patents right now and read it yourself. The United States Army invented, and I want to be precise here, an aerosolized spray-delivered meal system designed to feed soldiers without them ever having to eat in any conventional sense of the word. Today we are going to walk through exactly what it is, why it exists, how it works, and why almost nobody knows about it. Before we get into the spray itself, you need to know who built it, because once you know who these people are, nothing they invent will surprise you ever again. The facility behind this patent is called the U.S. Army Soldier Systems Center. Most people know it by its shorthand, Natick Laboratories. It sits in Natick, Massachusetts, and its entire reason for existing is to make soldiers more capable by improving everything they wear, carry, and eat. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Natick is the same facility that developed the MRE, the meal ready to eat, the self-heating, shelf-stable field ration that has kept U.S. soldiers fed since 1981. The MRE was genuinely revolutionary when it launched. It could survive a parachute drop, sit in a desert for 3 years, and still be edible. But Natick never stopped asking the question, what comes after the MRE? What happens when even pulling out a pouch and squeezing food into your mouth is too slow, too loud, or too dangerous? That question is what leads you eventually to a spray can. Okay, so here is what the patent actually describes, and I am going to be careful here to tell you exactly what is in the document and nothing more. Patent US 6,600,086B2, filed under the U.S. Army Soldier Systems Center in Natick, describes a system for delivering nutrients to a person via aerosolized or nebulized particles. The nutrients, and this includes carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, so actual macronutrients, not just vitamins, are microencapsulated, meaning they are wrapped in a tiny protective coating and then suspended in a fine mist. That mist is sprayed into the mouth. And here is the key mechanism. The nutrients are absorbed through the oral mucosa. That is the lining of your inner cheeks and the surface of your tongue. This sounds like science fiction, but transmucosal delivery, absorbing substances through the mouth's lining, is not new science at all. It is actually standard medicine. If you have ever seen a heart patient place a nitroglycerin tablet under their tongue for rapid absorption, that is the exact same principle. It has been documented in medical literature going back decades. Rathbone and colleagues wrote about oral mucosal drug delivery in critical reviews in therapeutic drug carrier systems as far back as 1992. The Army's insight was, if you can deliver drugs this way, so why does the Army actually need this? Because war does not pause for lunch. The Institute of Medicine, now the National Academy of Medicine, published a report in 2006 specifically on nutrient delivery for short-term, high-intensity combat. One of the core problems they identified is that soldiers in active combat situations frequently cannot stop to eat. The act of eating, opening a package, chewing, swallowing, takes time, creates noise, and requires a level of situational disengagement that can get someone killed. Traditional MREs, as impressive as they are, still take time. They still require the soldier to divide their attention. A spray-delivered caloric system theoretically solves that. You are moving, you are watching, and in 2 seconds you have absorbed enough carbohydrate to keep your brain and muscles functional. And Natick was not alone in thinking this way. DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, ran a separate program around the same era called Metabolic Dominance, which New Scientist covered in 2004. The goal of that program was to engineer soldiers who could operate for up to 5 days on minimal food by manipulating metabolic pathways at the cellular level. The spray patent fits into a broader military philosophy. Food is fuel, and fuel delivery should be as fast and frictionless as possible. Now the question you are probably asking, did this ever actually get used? And the honest answer, based on what is publicly available, is that there is no documented evidence of this spray system being deployed in the field or issued to soldiers. The patent exists, the research exists, the science behind it, transmucosal nutrient absorption, is real and continues to be studied. But a gap between a military patent and a deployed piece of kit is completely normal and extremely common. The U.S. military patents thousands of technologies that never leave the research phase. Sometimes the logistics do not work out. Sometimes the cost is prohibitive. Sometimes the problem the technology solves turns out to be solvable a simpler way. What the patent tells us is that someone at Natick sat down, thought seriously about the problem of feeding soldiers in impossible conditions, and came up with a solution strange enough that you would swear I made it up, and then filed the paperwork to prove they did it first. The spray-on meal may never have fed a single soldier, but it is real, it is documented, and the patent number is right there in public record. US 6,600,086 B2. If that genuinely blew your mind, and I think it should, there are more of these sitting in the archives just waiting. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss one.